We need to talk about the ugly, no, not the ugly, the good, the bad, and the ugly of the Super Bowl halftime shows, because we got two of them. One, the official one with Bad Bunny and during the game, and the other, the Turning Point USA Super Bowl halftime show. And this is going to be interesting because there's a bit more complex than many people realize. And I want to start with the TPUSA one. And one of the things that we need to address is that I understand that this was originally going to be broadcast on X, formerly Twitter, and on Rumble, and on YouTube. And it seems that they had to, or maybe not YouTube, they had to change to YouTube at the last minute. I have no theories about this, but I'm glad that they switched to YouTube, and I'm going to address that in a minute. It's not because I have some kind of favoritism to YouTube, which I could have, but you know that this show is broadcast to Rumble, YouTube, and X. But there's one thing that YouTube does better than Rumble and X. Still does it better than Rumble and X. And it has to do with this. We need to mention one of the most successful streamers nowadays. Even if you don't like her, you have to acknowledge that Candace Owens is a successful live streamer in YouTube, because her main show is on YouTube and her main show is not recorded. She does it live. And Candace Owens was, let's say, having this misleading take about the TPUSA halftime show. The problem with people who have a lot of money they didn't earn is that they tend to have no idea how stuff actually works. That is really bold, coming from someone who married a rich guy. But well, you do you. No, this is not a possible result if you truly had 5.2 million live viewers. And she was baiting, sharing a screenshot which listed 10K views. And I'm going to say that I reached out to her. I just quote tweeted her saying that she is very misleading about this, and she shouldn't, because she knows how live streams work in YouTube. I'm going to explain this. This is very simple. People are saying, how come I saw this and they had only had 10K views or 40K views, having so many millions of subscribers. I'm going to explain how live streams are counted on YouTube so people understand what happened with the TPUSA halftime show, and you understand how this works. And my show works. YouTube has two ways of counting views and comments. I'm live streaming right now. I have a counter here, okay, and my counter right now is sitting at 6,000 views. That is the cumulative viewing of people who have entered to my live stream and exited. Right now, concurrent viewers is at almost at 12, almost 1,200. Okay, that is the simultaneous viewers. And in the Turning Point halftime show, they got up to 6 million simultaneous watchers, would you say? The audience was 6 million people. 6 million people, which is respectable. That was awesome. I think that was great. The live chat that you see on the side, okay, the live chat that you see right here, is maybe you see in this side, right? Okay, of the screen. The live chat is going to be one live chat during the live stream, and then the comments. Live chat and comments are two different things in YouTube. The comments are just going to start after the live stream ends. So during the live streams, all that you can do is to go to the live chat. When the live stream ends and it transforms into video on demand that you can watch whenever you want, then the live chat is closed and the comments are open. So that's why people say, oh, how come this has, 1 million views and has only 10 comments? It's the discrepancy at the moment of the cutoff when the show ends. Candace knows all this because she's a veteran. She's very good at this. And this is another thing that people have said. People have said, oh, maybe, and I think that Candace herself was saying this, that they're using bots to prop up TPUSA's halftime show. And I can vouch for YouTube in this regard, in terms that YouTube has the strongest, the gold standard, platinum grade view botting countermeasures, which means that it's extremely hard to inflate your numbers in YouTube. Even if you paid for that, YouTube knows how to spot bots, and it literally will remove that from any analytics, even the live analytics. So, and again, I said that applies for TPUSA, and that also applies for Candace's show, because some people have said that, oh, Candace is using bots for her show. No, this can't go one way. YouTube makes sure that the turning point views are legit, and YouTube makes sure that Candace's views are legit. We are being fair, because that is the reality, because that is how YouTube works. I'm gonna try to explain this. I'm trying to explain this so you understand how, once again, Candace is doing this in bad faith. She 100% knows how this works. She knows that there's a cutoff from the views during the live stream and then the views after the live stream. The views after the live stream right now sit at 20 million. But by the way, those 20 million that we see publicly are besides the views that were during the event itself. So again, the only people that can certainly know how many views in total are Turning Point, because they can look at both numbers. We can only watch either the live viewers, like you're watching my live viewers right now, and the views after the show has ended. But only the administrator of the account can see both numbers at the same time. I think that makes it clear. Now you know more about YouTube live streams than the average human being. And now you know how this is absolutely misleading. And now you know that, yeah, if this is fair for Turning Point, it is fair for Candace as well. I want, as I remember Full Metal Jacket, I am hard, but I am fair. Yeah, I am the one. Again, Milo Yiannopoulos, you know that he is trying to prop up Candace in some way, and he was highlighting this as in this is the problem that we were talking about. There's also a delay. This views that you see here is after the show has ended. This likes is from the moment the live stream was. The likes, you can like from the moment the show starts, or the, for example, I set up a live stream 2 hours before it starts. You can like from that moment. So that's why you see this changes. Now you understand how this works. And now you understand how these people are acting in absolute bad faith. And Candace Owens also says, note, what they will do now is to spend an offensive amount on YouTube ads overnight to bring their viewership up while we sleep. Is that what Jeremy Boring did when his Razors commercial flopped? When you wake up tomorrow, this video will have north of 50 million views. I think that they don't have to spend ads. Why? Because another thing, again, I have been on YouTube for 6 years now. I will be 6 years in next March. I know how this stuff works. And I know that the recommendation algorithm of YouTube is really good at finding the people who would want to watch you. You know it. You open your homepage on YouTube and you can't avoid just saving for later something or watching something on the spot. That's how YouTube works, and that's why YouTube makes so much money. So again, maybe they could spend on ads. Maybe you could see an ad here. I don't see any problem, by the way, if they have the money and they say that there's a good chance or is a good shot to spend ads. That is not illegal, as far as I know. But I would recommend that it's not necessary. It's not necessary to spend ads. YouTube is gonna take good care of that. Alex Clark, pretty simple. People were watching the Turning Point USA. People were saying that the live chat was slow. The turning point on YouTube, the live chat was too slow. 6 million people watching, and the chat was slowish. But the majority of people are watching that. We're watching that on their TV. So on your TV, it's a bit hard to leave a comment. But yeah, TPUSA halftime show on their TVs live included myself, and they were watching with other people in the room. So no, we weren't blowing up the chat or comments, and when it was finished, we switched back to the Super Bowl. A damn hamster could figure this out. That is, actually what happened. So I wanted to make it clear about the numbers, about the misconceptions, and the misdirection and misinformation and everything, Miss Candace Owens and everything. Having said that, I mean, I saw I watched the Turning Point halftime show. It was very well produced, save a couple things that that I had to mention. Kid Rock's lip syncing is even more egregious than Ashley Simpson and Milli Vanilli. Yeah, this I don't know. They put it in this huge show. The production was so amazing. You know how our Turning Point spectacles are just something brutal. By the way, was 6 million only on YouTube, because on Rumble, there wasn't Rumble, and Rumble was like almost 5 million more. And I don't know which other platforms that they were in. So again, I don't know. I'm just talking about YouTube, but this is from Rumble. I don't understand why Kid Rock's lip sync was so bad. I'm going to, I guess I can play this. I hope that I had no copyright takedown. So sorry. Okay. Watch his mouth. Okay, I'm going to try to zoom in. You notice that he was you listen to the tracks playing, and yes, you can go to YouTube and rewatch this. You can go directly to YouTube and rewatch this and notice that the lip sync was wild. Yeah, that was crazy, and some people are complaining, oh, it so happens that this was pre-recorded. I don't really have a problem with this being pre-recorded. I don't think there was the need to have it live. They could have been pre-recorded that and then play it during the Super Bowl. I have no problem with that. I do have a problem with this, like the worst lip sync failure in like ever. And it's a shame because, again, everything was so awesome. The scenario, the pyrotechnics, everything was I mean, I am not much of a fan of Kid Rock, but I think the guy was, the song was solid, and the song transformed into another thing that we're going to address. And this is the other thing, the only other thing that I'm going to mention of this show before we move on to Bad Bunny. And Sam Weber, the best part of the Kid Rock set is when the actors they hired to pretend to be a string duet clearly had never heard the song before. So when the cello does a norm descension, he randomly decides to go way up and stay there. The violinist is noodling around during melodic runs. So I was watching this, and I certainly thought that something was off. And if you play any sort of instrument, especially cello and violin, and I know that I'm not that good at cello, but I have played this mofo enough to understand what I'm seeing, and I have watched enough of music to understand what I'm seeing, and I'm gonna play a fraction of this, so you understand this is not it. I want to think, maybe you saw it, maybe you can watch it, a longer clip. I'm not going to play the whole clip. But yeah, there's a very disturbing something that you're listening to, and what is happening in front of your eyes having nothing to do one thing with one another. And I said, okay, I hope that there's some kind of problem with the audio and the video. And then it was like a Kid Rock thing. But again, minimal technical details. This is, understand this is the first time that they do this thing. This should have been, let's say, corrected on time, pre-recorded, make sure that it is perfect, and then go for it again, because you have a beautiful setting, you have a beautiful studio, you have a beautiful everything, but that was like bringing yourself completely out of that. This was interesting because people are also criticizing Kid Rock for opening with a 1999 hit called Bawi Daba, in which he talks about topless dancers and stuff. But this was kind of on purpose, because his act was in 3 parts. And that 3 parts ended from being that kind of debauchery from his 1999 era and directly into the a religious edition that he added to the last song. There is a book that is sitting in your house somewhere that could use some dusting off. There is a man that died for all our sins hanging out of the cross. You can give your life to Jesus and he'll give you a second chance till you can't. So, again, it was like Kid Rock was trying to represent that we have all been crazy at some point of our lives. We have always done crazy stuff, insane stuff, maybe illegal stuff, okay? So, from that point and going to God and coming to the grace of Jesus, I think that was a nice arc. It was a nice message. So, again, it was a nice message. Maybe they are going to do that next year as well. Maybe they can make sure that they make the lip sync work this time. But again, let's move on to the other topic that not the other topic, the other side of the coin, which was the actual Super Bowl show. And of this, I'm sure that I cannot play anything. But one thing that I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Metallica could have been better. Don't tease me with a good time. You know that that's not going to happen anytime soon. At least not in this universe. Maybe we can do that with AI or something. But again, let's talk about Bad Bunny. I need to say a couple of things to let's say clarify any misconceptions about this. Because this is the single most important thing that we need to know about Bad Bunny. Is that if you look for his lyrics, if you go straight for his lyrics of his albums, you're going to be horrified. There's absolutely no way around that. It doesn't matter how open-minded you are. If you look for his lyrics, you will be 100% horrified. I will try to talk about some topics of his lyrics in here. I don't want to get into trouble. I don't want to make this too much of a crass show. But yeah, the lyrics are really can be crass and raw. It's he plays a lot of Latin rhythms and genres in his songs and his albums. But yes, we need to be really clear about this. Any kid, any teen from anywhere in the world has absolutely zero business listening to this guy's music. Even if you know the joke, this is gonna be a recurring joke. Even if his Spanish cannot be understood, even by Spanish speakers. I mean, Spanish is my mother tongue. I'm familiarized with Spanish from Mexico, from Spain, from Argentina, from Colombia, from Peru. I can mock so many accents from many areas. Even the Chilean. Chile is the final boss of Spanish. If you can understand Spanish from Chile, you can understand Chilean. You basically master Spanish, including Puerto Rico. I also know the Puerto Rico accent. You remember that I analyzed Meghan Markle speaking at some point, that she said, "Oh yeah, I learned when I work in Argentina, something like that." But I noticed that her accent, Meghan Markle's accent, was not from Argentina, was from Puerto Rico. Indeed, it was interesting, but her accent is more Puerto Rican than Argentinian. Having said that, you can find Venezuelans, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Chileans, Argentinians who listen to Bad Bunny and don't understand a damn thing. In fact, I would say that I understand around 40% of the words that he says, but from those 40% of words, I understand around the meaning of around 10%. So yes, a lot gets lost in translation. If you go directly to the lyrics, again, you will be horrified. But the point still stands. No kid or teen should be listening to Bad Bunny, but the reality is, Super Bowl or not, kids and teens are listening to this guy's music worldwide. And rest assured, they are going to look for the lyrics, and they're going to look for what do his lyrics mean. That is, with or without Super Bowl halftime show. Did we get that right? You can blame TikTok. You can blame that parents just give kids phones nowadays and smartphones, and they can browse the internet. TikTok, you will find all of Bad Bunny's songs unfiltered, women shaking their hips, whatever. But that is like a systemic problem, we could say, worldwide. And the Super Bowl halftime show is just a symptom of a greater problem. I want to really frame this way, not frame this way, but establish how are we going to address this. Because people are saying, oh, they are doing this, kids are watching, are going to be, influenced by Bad Bunny. And the trick is then in this show, in that he made sure to sing all the clean parts of his songs, even of the more the songs about debauchery. He included more than a couple songs about debauchery, and he made sure to mute or not sing the parts that, well, let's say that one of the things that I immediately noticed is that he muted something that, let's say that about rims, and I'm not talking about cars, okay? I'm just gonna leave it at that. We're gonna hit something about rims, and I'm not talking about cars. So yes, that is the level that we're talking about. So he being in the Super Bowl is because he's worldwide famous. I mean, you can say this is a psyop, but he's not that famous. All those streams are fake, but something that you simply can't fake is that he fills stadiums everywhere, no matter what. And he does that. It's like you can say Taylor Swift is a product of an industry. She's a product. Her songs are a product, and you would be right. Does the product make a lot of money? Yes. Is she a product, a designed product to appeal to the masses? Yes. Is Bad Bunny a product? Yes. Is that a problem? Yes. Well, especially when you take a close look at Bad Bunny's lyrics. But my point, I make all this intro to this, is because the spectacle itself of the Super Bowl was, I expected it to be way more woke and satanic. So it was quite lame in terms of, it's not that edgy or nothing. It was not woke and satanic. In fact, it was not woke or satanic at all. So many people are mentioning one part of this clip, and I know that you want me to address this immediately. Let me see if I can jump to that. I don't want to get into trouble because you know that you play this, if only play this the wrong way, I will get this. People are playing this. two guys grinding into each other. Oh, they are all this gay stuff. This is all right. Okay, there's no way around this. There's indeed two dudes grinding into each other. They're gonna be in an ad for Grinder, by the way. But we need to kind of put this into perspective because people are repeating this over and over again. And this was a shot that lasted. The shot lasts 2 seconds, and only 1 second you can spot these guys going at it. And this is 1 second over 13 minutes of a halftime show, or at least what he said. Okay? So there was 1 second. 1 second. A split second. So you might be saying, okay, Jesus, but they're using this subliminal suggestion. They're using this messaging. They're using this to, I don't know, inflict this into kids. But at the same time, you could say that, okay, this was some kind of messaging that they were using. But simultaneously, they used this message of this couple. Where's the couple? Where's the couple that was getting married? A couple was getting married. This couple was actually getting married. These women, for example, were no different. Some regular cheerleaders. There was this couple that was getting married. The couple, what is the couple, please? I want to know the couple. My God, where's the couple? Okay, here's the couple. We can see an actual couple. There's an actual couple getting married in the halftime show. That is my understanding. You may say that, okay, let's say that this is fake. Oh, that is not an actual couple, Jesus. You fell for it. You fell for the messaging and all the stuff. Okay, let's say it's a fake marriage. But it's a marriage. Still, a marriage between a man and a woman? I mean, what? I'm gonna play this. I can't really play this. But they really did a wedding between a man and a woman, and they had other shots of they cutting the cake and rejoicing and kissing. So, okay, you had 1 second of two dudes grinding to each other, 1 second, and you had several seconds and the motive of a man and a woman getting married. I mean, you have to kind of take what you can take from the stuff, right? And I have to say, again, I am not a fan of Lady Gaga, but I have to be fair at the same time because I cannot be a hypocrite. I cannot be a hypocrite because back in the day, I remember the Grammys, which I don't like the Grammys either way, but I remember when Metallica was a couple of years ago, they went to the Grammys and they performed live Moth into Flame with Lady Gaga, and that was chef's kiss. That was so awesome. So Lady Gaga's demonic, she's satanic. Okay, yeah, it's like my point. I'm addressing the show itself. Like Bad Bunny could have this horrific lyrics that are sexually deviant, yes, but he did not sing anything of that for the show. And yeah, Lady Gaga could have all the, the satanic stuff that she pushes everywhere, but this section musically was awesome. I'm gonna say that this is musically. You have to watch this. If you haven't watched this, you have to give it a try. Give it a try. And there's another thing that I need to say. Again, I'm trying to separate, be very clear, that I do not condone anyone under 18 years old, I would say under 21 years old, listening to Bad Bunny's music, because they're going to find out about the lyrics, and that is not something that a kid or a teen can say. But for what we could expect from the show, this was pretty much okay, I guess. So, and there's another thing that I need to say about the show. And there's an actual guy that let's say I wouldn't say that I used to be a fan of him. That is the couple dancing. happy. Okay, maybe they're fake. Maybe they're fake. We don't know, but there's the couple dancing. And I need to address this. Apparently, this kid, Bad Bunny gave his Grammy to this kid, and I don't know if the kid was involved in some kind of ICE raid. I don't know if this is true. I have not had any confirmation about this. Take this with a grain of salt. But him giving his Grammy to this kid was a wholesome moment if he really gave that Grammy away. But I need to talk about this. I need to talk about this. This is important. We need to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Ricky Martin. Because I know that you are watching this show, you're watching this video. Whenever you're watching this, I know that you, at some point, you heard, you listened to La Vida Loca. Don't say you didn't. You can, me? What? Me? La Vida Loca? No. You remember, right? You did. You know you did. You can't say you did. And let's be clear. And you even try to move to you did. You know you did. Ricky Martin is a legend. And I have lost track of what he has been doing lately. I used to be a huge fan of Ricky Martin. And yeah, I'm not gay. So there's that. But the guy was basically, this is as simple as this. He apparently was never as big as he should have been to be a Super Bowl halftime show. Even Shakira, I'm going to mention somebody who mentioned this. If Ricky Martin or Shakira couldn't be as big enough to lead a halftime show. Well, Bad Bunny, it's like Ricky Martin walked so Bad Bunny could fly. So this was a nice touch. I mean, Ricky Martin has opened the doors for so many artists, and he has made so great music. I couldn't skip this. I couldn't make this review without addressing the guy, and it was a really nice touch. I have to say this from Bad Bunny to include Ricky Martin in this, because yeah, this guy is a living legend. It's a living legend. The song that he sings with Maluma. I forgot the name of that song. Well, look for the Ricky Martin Maluma song. That song is also amazing. So Ricky Martin sings. There was this. People were offended that they were with this telephone. No, not phone. The electric poles or whatever. And then this ends, and then begins the gaslighting with the stuff. But people are saying, why all these flags? I don't see the United States flags anywhere. I saw that online. And yeah, the United States flags was, and very prominently, right up front. And right next was Puerto Rico's flag, and then all the other flags from the countries from America, the continent. And some people are saying that, oh, he did not mention the United States. He began mentioning all these countries. I cannot play the clip. He wasn't mentioning all the countries here. Okay, with this, the only thing more powerful than hate is love. He was mentioning all the countries. You can see the United States flags right behind him. You cannot unsee that. And he does mention the United States. And he mentions Canada as well. So This is a thing. Again, you look for the lyrics. You have been warned. I think the spectacle was nice. There was no... Okay, there was 1 second of guys grinding. There was a lot of women twerking. But that is basically... That is taken for granted nowadays. No, Bad Bunny is not an artist that kids and teens should be listening to. The inclusion of Ricky Martin was great. It was nice. It was great. The prominent man and woman wedding was a nice surprise, and the mentioning of every single country in America as in we are all part of America. This is the part that I disagree with people like Matt Walsh. You know that I agree with Matt Walsh with some of the stuff. But he said that this halftime show was anti-American. And some people might argue that since it was in Spanish, then it shouldn't have been that way. And they might have a point. There in the United States, you're with the sport that is as American as you can imagine. This basically one of the most American things, football. And I have said that I find it baffling that people that call themselves Americans, so many people that call themselves Americans and are American citizens, do not speak English. So yeah, that is a bit odd, having a halftime show in a language that is not English. Even if even us Spanish speakers can't understand a word that he says. We go, oh, let me check the lyrics online. Oh my God. So yes, many people have many takes about this. But the collective meltdown that people are having over this, I think this could have been way worse. This had the potential to be way worse. It could have been more woke, more satanic, more political, more in every single way. And we have to be, if we take a look at the 13 and a half minutes, it was okay, I guess. I mean, I was ready to destroy it. I was ready to, when I watched this, okay, that was, okay, you convinced me. So, it's important to put this in perspective. I can understand that you can disagree with a lot of stuff. You can disagree that it was in Spanish. That is a valid point. You can totally disagree that how come Bad Bunny is so famous. That is the music industry. That's how it works. Best you can do is remember, do not give smartphones to your kids and teens. Nokia 3310, the Nokia. Dumb phone. Make sure that they are not on social media, second one, and make sure that you spend with your kids and teens as much time as possible and educate them into, well, real music, real shows, the beauty of the real arts. That is the single most important thing. You're not going to give the responsibility to the music industry because you know that they are demons. You know that the music industry is worse than Hollywood. So there's that. So again, that is our responsibility as parents. That is the single most important thing. This was okay, surprisingly not woke and satanic. So I think that is a great silver lining. Together we are America. He was holding a ball that you can see very clearly, the United States flag in the background. Together we are America. Yeah, it was a bit confusing. It was confusing. It was interesting in many ways. There's a joke going around Spanish language internet. Americans are mad Bad Bunny is singing in Spanish at the Super Bowl and they can't understand him, but neither can we. And that's another thing. I don't know how people can be upset about, oh, have you seen Bad Bunny's singing in Spanish? Nobody understands what he's saying. At the same time, they're complaining about the lyrics. Oh, pick a lane. You don't understand a word that he's saying and you're complaining about the lyrics? How can you complain about the lyrics if you don't understand what he's saying? But we have to be careful because people are looking nowadays a reason to get upset, a reason to be triggered. And we need to regulate that. Yeah, there are things happening in the world. Yeah, there's propaganda, there's programming, and we need to protect our kids and teens from all that. So this is the kind of examples that we can put things into perspective and realize, okay, I can take this and I can leave this out. And that is when we really can have actual conversations and analyze and see things for what they really are. But I would like to know, what do you think about this in the comments? My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Bar Language Guy. Much love and bliss.